Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. No more murder, no more lies. No more murder, no more lies. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestina. Palestina. Oh, oh, oh. Palestine in my heart. Palestina. Palestina. Oh, oh, oh. Palestine in my heart. Stand up tall. This is a wake-up call. Never again means never again for all. To all my people in Gaza, even though we're living far from each other, your pain is my own pain. All for one and one for all. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. No more murder, no more lies. No more murder, no more lies. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestina. Palestina. Oh, Palestine in my heart. Palestina. Palestina. Oh, Palestine in my heart. Freedom is our destiny. Gotta make a choice, better be on the right side of history. No one can be free until we all are free. Enough is enough. We gotta stop this genocide. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. No more murder, no more lies. No more murder, no more lies. Free, free, free Palestine. Palestine. Palestina, oh, oh, Palestine in my heart. Palestina, Palestina, oh, oh, Palestine in my heart. Palestina. Palestina, oh, Palestine in my heart. Free, free, free Palestine.
Look at this crowd on a Monday night. Our rally hasn't even officially started. This is probably one of the biggest crowds I've seen in Town Hall in a very, very long time. More people are coming. We need to make sure this is safe. We need to make sure that everything happens tonight, you know, without trouble. So if everyone can move down and create as much space as possible so that people coming in can come into the square and not block any roads or anything.
Nongali. My name is Vanessa Turnbull Roberts and I'm a proud Bundjalung Widjabul Waible woman, and it is a privilege to be standing here with my beautiful Auntie Lizzie. Yeah, Chad. First and foremost, before I share a yarn, I would just like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land. This is, was and always will be sovereign Aboriginal land. But first, we've got some friends. Can we show a nice black power to these gungables up in the sky? Can we let these police know that we are not scared, no matter what authority, no matter how many police officers or gungables that you send out to gate us here in this space, that we will make sure that we are standing because you allowed a war criminal to walk off a plane on stolen land with no consent from those people, and we say no. You allowed the same man who is bombing children to walk on stolen land. Albo, where is your heart? Albo, where is your dignity? And Albo, where is your care for innocent children? You are locking up Aboriginal children here on Aboriginal land for petty crimes. Yet you welcome a man that is killing innocent children globally and you roll out the red carpet. Shame! We can see clear as day the double standards of this government today. And I am ashamed, as an Aboriginal woman who is proud of the country that we have and the beautiful people from all different backgrounds, the fact that this man was allowed to walk on stolen land. We give no consent! Let's tell the AFP to do their job. Arrest Herzog! Arrest! 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 Tell those shoot fighters over there with a drone. Arrest! 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 Tell the snipers and everyone around the ICC that are doing hidden surveillance. Arrest! 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 The regime that happens over from Israel that is committing a genocide against Palestinian people is the same genocide that has happened here since invasion. We have children being forcibly removed. We have 10-year-olds locked up who still have their baby teeth. And make no mistake, it is the policing state that is criminalising and surveillancing our children. It is the same state that is protecting a murderer. And the very reason that you are all out here today is because of black resistance and it's because of the First People's power. You see, this was intentional. And my dear brother, Paul Dungay, who has led every single First Nations movement with the Black Caucus here on Gadigal country, he has brought this country together to remember his dear uncle who was killed in custody. And every time this policing state opens negotiations and authorities, we need to get more creative. You don't want us to march? Release our children from prison! Stop locking up kids! But last week, there was nowhere near this amount of numbers, and I'm so deeply grateful that you are all here today. But I need to send a reminder, when the sovereign people of these lands call for your heart medicine, call for your show up and call for your caretaking, show up! Because it authenticates your movement and it authenticates from here to Palestine to Congo to Rohingya to the Philippines that the kids wasn't always will be Aboriginal land. We say no to war criminals. Chris Min should be ashamed of himself. Antony Albanese, what are you doing? You were here once with us demanding an end to the Israeli state and all the violence it's committed. What changed your heart? You opened up a red carpet. So what do we want to do? Arrest! 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 Now I'm just going to say one thing. This isn't me saying, let's march, just for the record, and to the snipers and to the AFP and all the gunjables and hidden ASIO here. But I will say there is nothing stopping us as ordinary citizens from going on a gentle walk by the harbour that happens to be next to the ICC. There is nothing. There is nothing. We are citizens too. We are allowed to walk freely on this land. This is, was and always will be Aboriginal land. I did not survive the family policing system to stand up here and talk to someone that doesn't know what they're talking about. This is, was and always will be Aboriginal land, and until your rep pulls up, we will keep marching, keep showing up. From Palestine to First Nations Australia, we are here, and guess what? We're not going anywhere!
Thank you, my beautiful niece. Wow. Yeah. Wow, what a people. This is great to see you, mob. It is really great to see that so many real humans are out here today to stand for humanity, against the devil's Christians, against the war criminals. Understand one thing. How are war criminals welcomed? They're welcomed by other war criminals. We are prisoners of war as First Nations people. Do not get that twisted. When we call for you, you come for us too. If you're worried about a genocide, worry here too. My name's Izzy Jarrett. If you don't know me, yeah, sure, exactly, thank you. I'm a proud Bumbangi, Bunjalung and Dungari woman. I'm a member of Black Caucus, along with these beautiful black people behind me that are always on the footsteps and front line of resistance against any superior power of white extremism and terror. Anyone look around and have vulnerable people near you, children or women, make sure you give them space. Make sure if you're an able-bodied that can take on a cop or take on someone trying to incite violence, you are there to put your body on the line before community. So that's how we do it. Learn from us and we might get somewhere together. Hey, all right. I didn't come here to be polite. Yeah. And I did not fucking come here to make any colony power comfortable. I came here to speak truth, loud enough that it will shake the walls of their silence. We stand here as First Nations people, the oldest continuing culture known to mankind. So like fuck, we do know what colonisation is. We know occupation, we know terrorism, we know stolen lands, we know these fucking governments that call their violence security and call our resistance terrorism. And you know why we know? Because the same script is used on us. Today, 2026, First Nations people are still, as I said, under prisoners of war of this genocide from Australia. Hey, you don't got to cut all the time, you mob, you know? Like really, make it decent. You know? They call invasion settlement. They call genocide progress. Yeah. And they call our survival a problem to be managed. So when mass murderers like Herzog come here and are welcome without accountability, don't expect us to stay still or stay fucking quiet.
Should be spared.
If First Nations mob had our law, that man would be spared. Yeah, take that, come and spear me. Bob, love you, brother. So yeah, we recognise these patterns. We recognise the power that protects white power. Governments shake hands while bombs continue to be dropped on innocent civilians, on innocent people, on innocent country. And they're continuing to be dropped on communities that are already there trying to bury their dead. So we refuse to stand silent. We refuse to stand still. when injustice is dressed up as diplomacy of men in suits that come along and shake hands and forbid farewells for day of mournings. Every day is a day of mourning for First Nations people here. Every fucking day. So yeah, when I speak, when you hear me, this is not hatred. English is hate speech. It was belting into my people, so don't tell me it's not a language full of hate. English is hate speech. Get your English correct. This is not hatred. This is what we call humanity. And this is not extremism. This is solidarity. And what I speak is not to bring division. It's to bring unity of truth. They want us all unafraid. They want us afraid to speak. They want us divided by labels. Welcome to First Nations world. This is a reality of our lives, living under an illegal occupation called Australia. But, you know what? We are descendants of the ancestors who survived massacre of massacre of massacre of massacres, of attempted massacre that happened only on the 26th of January this year in Perth.
Where's the red carpet for our elders?
So where is our Royal Commission once again? Where is the red carpet laid out for our elders in mourning? We are the grandchildren and now the living children and the next legacy to come of the continued stolen generations who refuse to disappear. Because we are the living proof. We stand here as living proof that resistance cannot die. So say it with me. From the river to the sea. Always was, always will be. Herzog to the ICC. You cannot bomb us into freedom. You cannot cage us into peace. And you cannot silence us suffering and call it democracy. As Black Mob, as First Nations mob, we don't forget our history. And we will never, ever, ever ignore the suffering of others. Our liberation is connected. Our struggles echo across oceans. From this land, always will be, and to Palestine, from the river to the sea. We stand with all people facing illegal occupation, dispossession, violence and erasure. They can call us radical. Hope I fucking am. Better believe it. And they can call us loud. And then they're going to try and criminalise our voices. Guess what? Being black is a crime in this country, with a voice or not. But we know this truth. The real danger today is the injustice. The real threat is the silence. Is these protest powers they're trying to put against us? Is this extraordinary police powers? It's all about power and control. So if you're going to be a robot and be powered and controlled, good luck to you. I say we stand on the side of resistance. I say we keep fighting back. I say fuck Chris Minns. I say fuck Albanese. I say fuck Herzog. So hear us and hear us clearly. Hear us clearly, Albo, Herzog, Minns, Wong, all of you. Hear us so clearly. We will not be silenced. We will not back down. We are not softening our words. And we are not asking permission to demand justice for Black Australia, justice for Palestine, justice for all occupation people. Thank you.
Where the Australian media welcomed Issac Herzog with open arms and with very little critique. introduce our next speaker, the formidable Grace Tame. Grace is an Australian activist and an advocate for survivors of sexual assault. She was Australian of the Year in 2021. Please welcome Grace Tame. Like Auntie Lizzie, I didn't come here to be polite. Yes. But I will start by thanking Auntie Lizzie and Sister Ness for welcoming us here to this beautiful Gadigal country. I pay respect to elders past and present, to all mob here from other communities far and wide. Sovereignty was never ceded here. And there are still so many stories and so much work to be done in the ongoing fight against injustice. Speaking of which, what a backwards world is it when a so-called democracy silences and surveils academic research, art, music and sport. And yet it profits off, it funds genocide. Shame. A so-called democracy that punishes peaceful protesters like us, but welcomes a war criminal with open arms. Yes, Issac Herzog, I don't even want to say his name properly, he doesn't deserve it. A man who signed his name on bombs that were used to kill women and men and children. A man who also said, and I quote, "There are no innocent civilians in Gaza." That is incitement to genocide. It is advocating collective punishment, and most of all, it is a fucking lie. But that is all the right-wing fascist state of Israel has left now. Lies, bombs and bloodlust. So why are we still supporting them? Because we are a spineless colony of the United States and we depend on their military might. That is it. That is the only reason. Our political classes across the spectrum have made it clear that they only care about two things: getting elected and people with money who can engineer that outcome. The Israel lobby has been working overtime to cement themselves as one of the most influential political donors. Well, I say let them, because you can buy bombs and you can buy politicians, but you cannot buy the truth. You cannot buy our compassion and you cannot buy our love. That is what we have. Those are our weapons, our collective communal weapons, and we will keep fighting with those until the very end. But I needn't remind you here of any of this. We don't need convincing. I'm preaching to the choir. There are still so many people, good people, who are scared to speak and scared to act. So what I want you to do after you leave here today is look around you, amongst your colleagues, amongst your friends and your family, and find as many people as you can who have not come to a protest and bring them along next time, because we need them. everybody. We have to continue to mobilise and we have to continue to globalise. Say it with me, from Gadigal to Gaza. Globalise the Intifada. One more time, from Gadigal to Gaza. Globalise the Intifada. Thank you.
Say it loud, say it clear! War criminals not welcome here! Say it loud, say it clear! Herzog is not welcome here! Say it loud, say it clear! War criminals not welcome here! Say it loud, say it clear! Herzog is not welcome here! Arrest Herzog! Hi everyone, and thanks to everyone who's already spoken, and thanks to them all, thanks especially to our Indigenous comrades for making that point. We're protesting here tonight on stolen Aboriginal land, and we stand with that struggle 100%. Now, before I go on, I have to say it is now 5:59, and at 6 p.m. all around the country, because we are just one of about 30 protests happening around this country right now. And I don't know if people have seen, but outrageously, in Queensland, they are suggesting that they are about to ban the phrase, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." And as we've pointed out many times, I mean, it just sums up how disgusting, how racist this world is, that you can't even call for the freedom of an oppressed people, a people being occupied, massacred, living in an apartheid regime, and being literally subject to genocide. But we've coordinated with those 30 cities around the country to say at 6 p.m, we will all together at the same time chant that chant louder than we ever have. So why don't you all get out your phones, and let's send a message to this country, to the world, and most importantly to Gaza, as we say, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! And we dare them to declare us a hate group. We dare them to come and try and lock us all up. Look around. They tried to intimidate us out of being here tonight. They tried every scare campaign. They tried to pass laws. And look around. Because, as we've said, if our so-called leaders are going to roll the red carpet out for genocide, then we, the people, need to stand up for humanity. And we did it on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and we're doing it tonight, and we're going to keep doing it until Palestine is free from the river to the sea. And I want everyone to remember, next time Chris Minns or some other politician or some other Daily Telegraph journalist complains about how disruptive our protests are, how they cost the government millions of dollars, not forget what our government has done, which is pass a series of unconstitutional laws and shut down an entire city to roll out the red carpet for a war criminal. And we know there's a concerted attack on our movement going on all around the place because they see us as a threat. They see us as a threat to social cohesion, a threat. And they're right. We are a threat to their rotten order of genocide and war and racism and inequality. We are a threat to the rule of warmongering racist billionaires. We're a threat to authoritarian premiers. We're a threat to war criminals. We're a threat to genocidal regimes. And we are the hope for humanity that we can all live in a better world, in Gaza and everywhere, because that's what we stand for. Is a world free of racist violence and inequality. A world for all of us to live in peace together, which is the exact opposite of what our rulers want and are leading us towards. Now, quickly, we are a huge crowd today, of course. Everyone knows what we stand for, that we are 100% against all forms of racism. We stand against anti-Semitism, against Islamophobia, against anti-Palestinian racism, against anti-Aboriginal racism. And we know, as I said, that the media, the politicians always like to scaremonger about any big crowd standing up to their system, but we know we can keep each other safe. We did it, the 300,000 marched over the bridge. This is a piece of cake for us. But yeah, please look out for each other tonight, keep each other safe, give each other space where we need to. Now we know the cops don't want to give us space. Right now they're trying to stop people coming in because we've already, if you can't see, we've already filled this square and a few others. But we say to the police, if you try to stop people entering this square, you're just going to create another demonstration and another one and another one. It won't do you any good, so let them in. And we also say to the police, if you want to get us out of this square, there's one easy way to do that, and that's to let us march! Let us march! Let us march! Let us march! And we'll keep making that call and we'll see what they say. Of course we do want a peaceful protest. We're not planning to confront them or anything, but through sheer weight of numbers, hopefully they hear that message. Now, on that note, I will welcome up our next speaker, who is Mohammed Daw. He is Amnesty International's official representative for the occupied Palestinian territory. Please make him welcome, Mohammed. They tried to silence us. They tried to stifle us. They tried to dismantle our fundamental right to protest, our freedom of expression and our freedom of opinion. But we are here because the people united will never be defeated. We will never remain silent in the face of injustice. Israel has unleashed hell and destruction on 2 million Palestinians in Gaza, with constant bombardment, displacement, and an engineered famine at a scale, speed, and severity that we have never witnessed in history. For over 2 years, we have protested, along with millions around the world, demanding an end to genocide, occupation, and apartheid. The historic March for Humanity saw over 300,000 Sydney-siders occupy the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And hundreds of thousands more joined us around the country. Our movement is big, our movement is strong, and our movement is loud. We have been peaceful and we have been lawful, yet the Minsk government is trying to stop us from protesting a genocide. And they want to make Israeli President Issac Herzog comfortable. Today, this government rolled out the red carpet for the Israeli president that has advocated and overseen 2 years of genocide in Gaza. He has overseen the world's longest occupation in history and an apartheid regime that Amnesty International considers to be a crime against humanity. Today, the Australian government showed us where they stand in relation to international justice and accountability. Amnesty, the ICJ, the UN Independent Commission of Inquiry have all found countless statements that Herzog has said that are genocidal incitements. The ICC has already issued arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant, and no war criminal should ever be allowed to walk free. They all belong in The Hague. Last week, former Australian Human Rights Commissioner and member of the UN Commission, Chris Sidoti, said that Herzog should be arrested on arrival and the diplomatic immunity does not apply to him for the gravity of his crime. To be clear, no president and no prime minister is above the law. Those responsible must be investigated, face trial, and accountability. My father, a Nakba survivor from Talkarm, has to suffer the indignity of watching this government welcome President Herzog instead of holding him to account for the war crimes that he continues to do in his place of birth. All Palestinians are living in a second Nakba. We are all operating in a constant state of grief and mourning. Yet this government is more intent on welcoming Herzog with open arms than holding him to account for his crimes. And as we stand here tonight, Gaza remains in ruins. 2 million Palestinians trapped. UNRWA attacked, demolished, and 37 humanitarian aid organizations banned from operating, including Médecins Sans Frontières. Israel is trying to destroy all Palestinian dignity, but for a Palestinian to simply exist is an act of resistance in itself. Herzog's visit is an affront to all Australians that care about human rights and peace and justice. And as a party to the Rome Statute and the Genocide Convention, Australia is obligated to investigate and arrest Herzog. Yet the state and federal governments are more interested in punishing us for being here tonight than punishing someone responsible for war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide. Our democracy today is under threat. And if we don't stand together and resist, Australia risks becoming an authoritarian state where we cannot exercise our freedom to protest, our freedom of opinion, or freedom of expression. We risk becoming like other countries where we are tried under terrorism laws for standing for Palestinian justice. No one can take away your rights or freedoms. And we cannot and we will not let that happen here. We will not allow our language and our words to be banned. Our freedom of expression, assembly, and opinion are protected under international and domestic law. Justice for Palestinians cannot wait. We stand here today to demand that Herzog, Netanyahu, and Gallant face justice for their crimes. And we will do so every single day until they have their day in court. So these numbers are good. Solidarity means people turn up, not to be homogenous, but to look after and stand beside other people, to not be oppressed. That's what solidarity is. Not to be a homogenous thinking group of people. It's, I will stand beside you so long as you ain't hurting other people, then you have a right to exist, and I'll stand beside you to make sure of that, and we deserve the same. You have a lot of right-wing commentators around at the moment talking about, oh, Australia needs unity. Well, it does, but this is proper unity. Truth and accountability and action is unity. Not more separative views or telling, like, assimilation again. That shit was tried to force on us. Assimilation, integration into a society is very different to assimilation. Integration is how people get along. That's unified. Assimilation is wiping out someone's own identity. And that's not on. People need to learn language. Again, I'm being very timid today. If you've ever saw me speak before, I'm louder than her. But swearing and shit, like, this is something an old uncle said to me, and I've said it at many of these rallies. I'm repeating shit for any of you young fellas who weren't around then. But like, you took our language from us, you gave me a new one, and you want me to use half of it. Go and get fucked. I'll use every word in that fucking language. These governments have been shitting on us forever. And look, we'll get moving, because I'll go on and I will get right up, and I don't want to get shot today. But no, look, this is the thing. Our people are under risk when we get up here, okay? There's a lot of lights on other people. They get to stand there. We get harassed, our families get harassed. The reason I disappeared from I was bashed 4 times in 18 months by these fellas for bringing light to them pushing drugs in our community and hurting us. They harass our children and our families when we stand up and do this. My sister had to raid her house numerous times back then when we were doing it. This is what we cop for standing up. So it's actually very difficult and risky, and we do it because you have to. Yeah, we're here for Palestinian people and the shit they're going through. I'll correct one word. Somewhere said that genocide was committed here. It's being committed here still. Our children are being taken at a 500% higher rate than the one they apologise for. What is called death, again, you're learning to use their language better than, or they use it purposely. They're not deaths in custody, they're murders in custody. And again, those have risen. When I was doing this 10 years ago, there was one every 2 months, and that was way too much. It's now, what was last year, one every couple of weeks, or officially. This year, we've had 3 in 1 month. These things need to be recognised and not hidden away like with something different. But the unity, again, so yeah, around the world, people have got to stand up. There's the Congo, there's fucking West Papua, no one else speaks about them. We have to stand with all places being oppressed and colonised and genocides happening. All of them. Every fucking one. That's unity. All right, people talk about wanting to move. We've got our other you want to speak, Paul? Yeah. We got our nephew, Paul, here. Are you going to speak?
Hey Bob, my name's Paul Silver. I'm a proud Dunghutti Aboriginal man. The last time I stood here was during Black Lives Matter 2020, and we also had this whole arena packed. Now I've got a message for all of you here today. Us as human beings, we're sick of being controlled, right? We are sick of being oppressed for 238 years. Aboriginal people have taken to the streets. So I say today, we take to the streets, we march for humanity, we march for Aboriginal people, we march for Palestine, and we march to say no terrorists on our land.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks, fellow legends.
All right, I'm just going to go straight to our next speaker, who is
sure you all know him. He is an anti-Zionist Jewish activist and author, Antony Loewenstein. He's the author of a very important book. His latest one is called The Palestine Laboratory, which documents how all the bloody billionaires and evil corporations and weapons companies test their products on the people of Gaza and Palestine before selling them to evil autocracies and democracies, so-called, all around the world. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you for coming today. I want to first start off by saying everyone here should give yourselves a round of applause for coming, despite what the government wanted us to do. We came here today in solidarity. Now, despite what you may be hearing in much of the media, there are growing numbers of, huge numbers of Jews around the world who oppose what is going on in Palestine every single day. The idea somehow that the President of Israel, who is deeply complicit in genocide, is somehow a friendly visit to Australia is absurd. For more than 2 years, I mean frankly nearly 80 years, but certainly since October 7, we have seen mass starvation, death, killing, rape by Israeli soldiers and on Palestinians. And somehow we're being told, as the President of Israel said in the media on the weekend, that you all are brainwashed for supporting Palestinian rights. The simple fact is that Israeli actions endanger all of us, including Jews, all of us, because what Israel is doing claims to be in our name, in my name, and believe me when I say it is not in my name at all. There's been a nice little attempt by the media to whitewash the record of Herzog. I'm not going to go into the long record, but let's be clear. The man has a long history of incitement, racism, calling no innocents in Gaza, signing bombs. This man in Israel may be seen as a Labour left man. Believe me, he is an extremist, which is very mainstream in Israel. This is a mainstream view. And one of the things that's worth saying here is that we're often told that every country has extremists, which is true. But the reality is in Israel, amongst the Jewish population, according to polling, a majority of Israeli Jews in the last 2+ years have supported starvation of Palestinians and removing ethnically Palestinians from Gaza. That is a mainstream view in Israel. And the question is, why are so-called mainstream pro-Israel groups here aligning with that view? Because they support it. They support the genocide in Gaza. And ultimately that endangers all of us. All of us. One of the things that is worth saying here, and I want to end on this point, Herzog was in Bondi this morning, shamefully, and said somehow that he's here to reiterate the fact that Israel and Australia have shared values. Now, I would love to know what those shared values are. I can guess. Is it occupation? Is it apartheid? Let's be clear. The Anthony Albanese government in the last 2 years has continued to sell F-35 fighter jet parts to Israel. None of that has stopped. None of it has stopped. I'm going to end with this point. I am proud to be here today as an Australian, as a Jew, as an anti-Zionist. And I say in our lifetime, free Palestine. Thank you.
Free Palestine! Now everyone, there's a massive, massive crowd in here, but there's even a bigger crowd outside, and the only thing preventing them from getting in is a very thin blue line made up by the New South Wales Police Force. So when I say whose streets, you say our streets. Whose streets? 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 Our streets. This is not a police state. We have the right to demonstrate. This is not a police state. We have the right to demonstrate. This is not a police state. We have the right to demonstrate. This is not a police state. We have the right to demonstrate. This is not a police state. We have the right to demonstrate. It's just shameful, absolutely shameful, what this fascist New South Wales government, the lengths they will do to protect the genocidal war criminal Issac Herzog. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, who needs little introduction. Senator Mehreen Faruqi is a senator. She's an Australian senator. She's a representative of the Australian Greens, and she has been a staunch pro-Palestinian activist in Parliament. Please give her a warm welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you for once again showing up for Palestine on Gadigal land. For more than 2 years now, more than 2 years of Israel's genocide, we have gathered in the city center every week in solidarity with Palestine. Our massive anti-genocide, anti-racist movement has protested weekend after weekend, marching peacefully for a free Palestine. And during that time, the only violence that has been perpetrated is by Chris Min's police force. The cops who have time and again turned on protesters, punching them, dragging them, intimidating them, and arresting them. So how dare does Chris Minns turn around now and falsely accuse us of clashes and violence and lie to shut down the heart of our city? How dare he? How dare they ask us to be respectful towards a president whose state is committing genocide and apartheid on Palestinians? How dare they? And how dare they tell us to be mindful of the context, when it is the very context because of which we are protesting? Their gaslighting is despicable, it is disgraceful, and it is disgusting. And it is bullshit. Utter bullshit. So in case they have forgotten, here's the context. The context is that more than 70,000 Palestinians have been brutally murdered. The context is that children and babies have been blown to bits and burnt alive. The context is the chilling inhumanity of killing 5-year-old Hind Rajab, firing more than 300 bullets. And still they wonder why we can't all just stop, look away and pretend that it didn't happen and just go away about our lives. Are we ever going to do that? If Labour had even a semblance of morality left in them, it is Herzog that they should be arresting today. Advocating genocide? Arrest Herzog! Arrest Herzog! Arrest Herzog! The moment Herzog stepped foot on this land, he should have been greeted with handcuffs. He should have been greeted with handcuffs, not a warm handshake. I must say, I have long lost respect for the Albanese government. But never even in my wildest nightmares would I have thought that we would reach this level of depravity and immorality. Not only to invite Issac Herzog, but to honor him, to tour him around the country on taxpayer dollars. And then turn around and tell us that we are the ones damaging social cohesion. Shame. Labour has shown again exactly who they are. Albanese and Wong have made a cold political calculation that they can get away with getting back to business, appeasing the Israel lobby, the Murdoch media, and the Israeli government. So remember this clearly. Albanese made the decision to invite Herzog here. Albanese chooses to shake the hands of a war criminal. And make no mistake, this is a normalization tour. Herzog himself has said that it is a visit which is trying to upgrade the relations and bring them back on track between Israel and Australia. I mean, seriously, Albanese wants to upgrade relations with a rogue genocidal state that systematically oppresses, kills, and occupies Palestinians? Like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? We are repeatedly told by Labour to build social cohesion. Now we know what social cohesion means to them. It means if you are brown, if you are Muslim, if you are Arab, if you are pro-Palestine, then just shut the fuck up. Are we going to shut the fuck up? What about the trauma of Palestinian Australians whose families have been massacred, starved, and arrested by the regime? Does their place in this country not matter? I recently saw a protest sign that read, if Palestine has not broken and reshaped your soul, then grieve not for them, but for the death of your own heart. And I must say, this spoke right to my heart, because our souls have been reshaped. People's eyes are wide open. We know what we have seen, and we can never, never unsee that. But there is no doubt, there is also no doubt that there are hundreds of Labour politicians and others, both federal and state, around the country, who should be grieving for the deaths of their own hearts. And there is a special place in hell, not only for those who commit genocide, but for those who excuse it, who enable it, and who look the other way. There is a special place in hell for those who trade their humanity for political convenience. You know what? Governments fall, careers end, but the stain of complicity in genocide does not wash away. And Labour will forever carry this shame and the blood-soaked stain. Forever. So let's say loudly and clearly, we will not be silenced. We will not be intimidated. We will not accept lectures on social cohesion from those who wine and dine with war criminals while children's bodies are being pulled up from under the rubble. History is watching. History is watching. The world is watching. And one day, when the lies no longer hold, when the spin collapses under the weight of truth, it will be remembered who stood up and who chose comfort over conscience. Be very proud that you all stood up. Be very proud. We are very proud as Greens that we stood up no matter the consequences. You are the people with the courage, with the conscience, and with the conviction. Palestine will be free. Mark my words. Palestine will be free. And no amount of handshakes, no amount of handshakes, no amount of media cover, no amount of moral cowardice will stop that. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Inshallah. Thank you so much, everyone.
I'd now like to introduce our next speaker, Ranim. Ranim is an activist. Her family, she's from Gaza in Palestine. Her family have been martyred. In this genocide. Please give a warm welcome to Ranim.
I want to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners on the land on which we stand today. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and I acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded, has never been ceded and will never be ceded. As a Palestinian from Gaza, there is a lot that comes to mind when talking about the horrors of the past 2 years. Do I talk about the experience of watching your homeland be bombed in front of you after leaving it 10 months before? Do I talk about the experience of watching your cousin bleed out on the floor of the streets and your uncle sobbing over his dead body? Do I talk about the experience of opening social media to see your 4 little girl cousins all on hospital beds and having to frantically make calls to find out who's been killed? Do I talk about the experience of hearing that your family members are collapsing from starvation and knowing in your deepest heart that there is nothing you can do about it? Or do I talk about having to live through all of this and so much more because this is an occupation that knows no mercy, only to see that Issac Herzog of all people, this occupation's head of state, is being welcomed like he is a guest of honor and not an elected representative. A man who has continuously incited and encouraged the genocide is being welcomed into this land with warm handshakes and a red carpet, and worst of all, it is being sold to us like it is the secret to social cohesion change. We are being told that the secret to the alleged division in Australia right now is Issac Herzog, a mass murderer. And every speaker has made it so clear tonight, but let's be 100% clear as to who it is that we're expected to jump into applause for. This is a man who has called for and encouraged the murder of my people, saying that none of them are civilians. This is a man who said that the images of starved children coming out of Gaza are staged, and this was all being faked. This is a man who, when talking about the mass murder of Palestinians, said, "It is painful, but we try to warn them." This is a man who happily signed bombs as they were being prepared to be dropped onto Gaza, and he wrote statements on them such as, "We are counting on you." We could go on and on, each statement and action worse than the other, nothing worse than the fact that he is the head of state of an entity that is found guilty of genocide according to a UN Commission chain. Every crime that has been committed in Gaza has been committed by Herzog's government. The burning of Palestinians such as Shaban and Bellu to the ground while he was connected to an IV drip, Herzog's government. In Rajab, shot by a shot with 355 bullets, her rotting corpse left in a car for 12 days. Herzog's government. The torture of Palestinian hostages, such as Dr. Adnan al-Burj, who was found to be raped and tortured to death, and his body is still running with Israeli forces. Say it with me, Herzog's government. Even after this supposed ceasefire, such as the horrific murder of Palestinian first responder Hussein al-Samiri, who was responding to the bombing of a tent in Khan Yunis, when he was also killed while wearing his paramedic clothing and gloves. And he was not just killed, those who have seen the photo know that he was mutilated beyond recognition. All of these atrocities and so much more, Herzog's government. This is not a man who should be welcomed to Australia, let alone any nation. This is not a man who should be advertised as a source of healing. This is a man who should be referred to The Hague. This is a man who should be locked up, awaiting trial at the ICJ. And instead of listening to our have to be silent about this disgraceful visit. Because otherwise I would be insensitive and I would be disrespectful and I would be inviting conflict and tension onto our streets. I think not. We know that it is this visit that is disrespectful, not our protests. When Penny Wong urges us to consider the context of this visit before we criticise it, we stand here united with allies from every walk of life, including our very proud and very staunch Jewish allies, to say that there is no appropriate context. There is no appropriate context where this visit would be okay. So to our politicians who say that they are concerned for the situation in Gaza on one day, but the next day will hold umbrellas for alleged war criminals, we say, spare us the lives! The more that they try to silence us and tell us that we've protested long enough and that everyone in Australia deserves these streets, the more that we will point to the atrocities in Gaza and say, as long as these scenes continue, we will not remain silent. As long as our politicians keep on shaking hands and acting like buddies with alleged war criminals, we will only get louder, we will only get stronger, we will only grow bigger, we will only get angrier. When it comes to Palestine, when it comes to occupation, when it comes to indigenous solidarity, when it comes to genocide and oppression, we refuse to stay silent. And on that note, I want to hand over to our youth, the youth of the sovereign people of this nation. George Young, let's hear it loud.
Nothing more. Ngaya kang Jordan Roy and NSC. Kamaringa Tarawalanga. Never Maragoli Dala Nai. Garaga Guling or Nung Nai. Yalamajong Nai. I'd like to pay my respects to the Gadigal clan whose lands we gather on today. I'm here, we're here, my black brothers and sisters, we're here in solidarity with our Palestinian brothers and sisters. We have a shared struggle. We have the same fight, we're fighting the same fight. So it's important that we continue to back each other. I can't stress the importance of everyone being here today. It's important that we continue to defy Chris Minns' racist and fascist protest laws. And this here, all of us together, human beings as one. This defeats the whole racist narrative that protesting causes division. You want to know what does cause division? Racism, genocide, and rolling out the red carpet for war criminals to come here on Aboriginal land. This is our streets. This is our crowd.
You're trying to tell us we can't march the streets, right? I'm not, wait, shush now, listen, right? You got to listen to learn, please. I'm not here to tell you to march the streets, but I'm here to tell you that our sovereign assertion is going to go and try and march these streets. And I will make sure it's noted, this is not a call from PAG. This is not a call from PAG. It does not reflect on the Palestine Action Group in any way, Mins and all you rest of fuckwits. This is a sovereign call. Do we want to march our streets? We want to free Australia. We want to free Palestine. So who's coming with me? Alright, MUA to the front. MUA to the front. MPs, if you have the balls, to the front. Yeah, let us march. No, fuck that. Fuck that. We're not asking permission. You might need to. We don't need permission to march our land. Sovereign authority.
All right, while that's happening, we're going to get to one more speaker, which is Sarah Kane, MLC. She's from Labor Friends of Palestine. We'll come back to that.
First of all, I want to acknowledge that we are on Gadigal land that was never ceded. But most of all today, I want to acknowledge the absolute pain that the visit of the Israeli president must be having on the Palestinian community in New South Wales. And for that, I want to say I am so very, very sorry. And I know that there are many Australians who want you to know that they share your pain, that they know that this isn't over in Gaza, that there are children freezing to death. They know that this is not over. And I want to say that we want you to know we do not welcome a man who incites genocide. We do not welcome. We do not welcome a man who signs bombs to drop on children. And we will not hear that there is context to his words and actions. There can be no justifying context for taking glee in the death of innocents. Now, I am here not representing the Labor Party leadership, but as part of the Labor Friends of Palestine and the many, many rank and file members of good conscience who have come to rallies, signed letters, moved motions, condemning the genocide, condemning this visit, and demanding accountability from our leadership, our government, and our party. They know, as you know, that it is a moral imperative not to turn away from what is happening in Palestine right now. And I emphatically reject the assertions of some commentators that any of us here today are engaging in selective moral outrage. And I say to those people, don't you dare suggest that we aren't also outraged about what is happening in Sudan, about what is happening in Iran. Don't you dare, when you sit there defending a wicked double standard about Israel, which undermines international justice. No other country facing the warrants, facing the allegations, would have had an invitation extended to their head of state. No other country. We say that we care about international human for Palestinians. We say we believe in an international rules-based order, but not for Palestinians. We say we should mourn for those who die in horrific acts of violence, but not for Palestinians. Now I say that this double standard, which has been perpetrated since 1948, should end, and it should end now. And I say to those commentators, stop your hypocrisy, learn your history, learn how the state of Israel came to be, the displacement and the trauma, and then try to tell us that we don't know what intifada means, that we don't know what from the river to the sea means. How dare you? Now Australia must show appropriate deference to the ICC and to the UN Commission of Inquiry, but it must do more than that. It must demand justice from Israel for Palestine. Now I want to say thank you to everyone who's here tonight and the many thousands who haven't been able to make it into this square. Many, many thousands. And I want to thank you because you have been consistent in saying no to genocide, no to facilitating it, and no to being complicit in it. And you have done it with discipline and dignity. You have done it with discipline and dignity. And I think we should remind those in New South Wales who don't know what protest is, that protest is not convenient, protest is not comfortable, protest should be inconvenient. And I say, my mother and father have just joined me up here. My mother and father who joined us on the bridge, who said that they would face the police. What I would end by saying is that protest is legal, protest is legitimate, protest is necessary, and protest will continue in the name of peace, compassion, and justice.
All right, thank you. We're glad you're here. Now we hope you actually vote against Chris Minns in Parliament. That's what matters. But thank you for coming. Thank you for being here and standing with us. All right, everyone. I'm told a conversation has happened and people may already be hitting the streets, but we're going to hear from Paul Keating from the MUA, from the Maritime Union of Australia, who's going to help rally the troops, and then we're going to go have a further conversation about a march.
Okay, we won't take too long. I just want to acknowledge our MUA members here and our veterans, MUA veterans that have flown in from around the country. Sisters, brothers and comrades, before we begin, before a single word of struggle or solidarity is spoken, we stand on Gadigal land, land that was never ceded, land that was always was and always will be Aboriginal land. This is the land where resistance has never stopped. From invasion to this very day, peoples have defended their country, their culture and their sovereignty. We honour their elders. When we talk about peace and justice, we're talking about justice for First Nations peoples. There can be no peace without truth, no real cohesion while sovereignty is denied. Always was, always will be.
Aboriginal land.
Always was, always will be.
Aboriginal land.
Comrades, the Maritime Union of Australia stands for peace and justice. We stand opposed to war, genocide and injustice. The working class must stand against those who incite and excuse genocide when they visit our shores. President Herzog, you are not welcome. Their very presence insults every value of justice, solidarity and humanity we hold dear. These are the architects of violence, those who benefit from the suffering of ordinary people, here and abroad. While they wage wars for power, it's workers who bury the dead, workers who heal the wounded, workers who rebuild what bombs destroy. We cannot and we will not welcome those who treat Palestinian life as expendable. Our message must be clear. Australia is no safe haven for war criminals. I call upon all trade unions, all workers, to stand with us on the side of decency and humanity. And say it loud, and say it clear, comrades, Herzog is not welcome here. Herzog is not welcome here. Herzog is not welcome here. Comrades, more than a century ago here in Sydney Town Hall, thundered with similar defiance. In 1917, socialist Henry Ernest Boot stood before working people just like us, exposing the torture of conscientious objectors in New Zealand, people of peace and faith, punished for refusing to kill in World War I. He warned what is happening there today would happen here tomorrow. The hall erupted because those gathered knew the fight against conscription was the fight for freedom and safety itself. This hall, Sydney Town Hall, became a place of courage and dissent. When the government tried to silence the anti-war press, workers, unionists, pacifists, believers and radicals all stood together. They said no to the organisation of murder and its profiteers and said yes to peace and solidarity. And because they stood united, conscription was defeated. That's the lesson we carry today. Peace movements only win when we stand united. Division is the tyrant's weapon. Sectarian is the curse that weakens every struggle for justice. Every time we turn on each other, we turn away from the real enemy. But when we stand shoulder to shoulder, comrades, no matter our organisations, our faith or our language that we speak at home, our unity becomes our shield, strong enough to shake governments and stop injustice. Let us pledge, comrades, that we build this united front again, a movement no government, no media mogul, no empire can divide. Unity is our power, solidarity is our weapon, and free Palestine is our victory. Comrades, 66 years ago on a day the government dared to call a celebration, Aboriginal people were denied the right to use this very town hall, denied the right to speak, denied a microphone on their own land, while officials celebrated 150 years of progress on January the 26th. First Peoples were locked out of this hall, built on their land, but they refused silence. They refused erasure. Across the city at Australia Hall, they gathered and created something greater, the day of mourning. The voices like William Cooper, Jack Patton, William Ferguson declared, "We do not celebrate invasion, we mourn 150 years of dispossession and survival." Brothers, sisters and comrades, those leaders turned exclusion into defiance, silence into strength, and lit a fire for the enormous Invasion Day protests we march at every year. The question still remains, who gets to be heard? Who still finds the doors closed? Whose truth is too loud, too real, too inconvenient? We stand here to say never again. Never again will truth be locked away from Town Hall or our writers' festivals. Never again will injustice speak louder than our solidarity. Let us make sure the Christopherly government in Queensland hear us. From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be
I can't hear you, comrades. From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
My message to Chris Minns, try as you may, but the fact remains the people united will never be defeated. And we will never accept the insiders of genocide and war criminals. Always together for peace, for justice, for equality and freedom from Gadigal to Gaza. And never forget, comrades, always was, always will be. Solidarity with you always.
All right, everyone, so we all know why Issac Herzog came to Australia. We all know why our government invited him here, because what they wanted was a massive PR tour, a big propaganda trip for the state of Israel to rehabilitate its image in the world, to renormalize genocide, to renormalize the rogue state of Israel, which millions upon millions of people around the world have mobilized against, and said that this is a genocidal regime, and said that we will stand up and fight a system that allows this to happen, that does this to the people of Gaza. So that's all they wanted. They wanted a propaganda tour for Herzog in Israel. But what have they got? They've got the opposite. They've got scenes beamed around the world of hundreds of thousands of people mobilizing for Gaza. Instead of a PR tour for Israel, it's a PR disaster for Albanese, for Chris Minns, and for that genocidal, illegitimate regime in Israel. Everyone here should be absolutely so proud of the stance that we've taken around the country. The protests are massive. There's 20 or 30,000 out in Melbourne. I haven't seen the numbers from everywhere else. So that is what we've all done, stood together. They rolled out the red carpet for genocide. We stood up for humanity. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? And whose world? Whose world? Whose world? Whose world? All right, let's keep the chants going. I'm going to go have another conversation with the police about us marching. If you want to join me in that conversation, you can come this way. And in the meantime, Yaz is going to keep leading some chants. Thank you, Yasmin.
And to our MUA members, there's plenty there. If you can make your way over to the steps over here. That's it, comrades. Make your way over, comrades. If you can let them through, they're coming through here. Thank you.
If we can march to Hyde Park. You gonna ask him?
We're not asking. We're not asking.
We're not
asking.
We're not asking, guys.
We don't ask.
We don't ask.
You don't hear it.
My name is Inspector Coffey from Day Street Police Station. We're recording this on video. This area of Sydney Town Hall has been closed under the Major Events Act. You are not able to move and march out of Town Hall Square.
Don't touch me!
Stop assaulting her! Stop assaulting her! Let her go! Let her go! Stop assaulting her!
Park Street, Druid Street and this area of George Street has been closed under the Major Events Act. It is an offence to move out of the square. There is no march today. Please comply with these directions. Please disperse. Please disperse.
This is only happening because you are all such violent losers!
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Inspector Coffee. Please move out of the public area.
This is international law. Arrest Herzog! Arrest Herzog! Arrest Herzog!
Please move back. Please move back.
Arrest Herzog! Arrest Herzog! Arrest Herzog! Arrest Herzog!
Get back!
Look at us! They got horses, guns, tasers, whatever else they got to fucking try and kill us with. But are we ready? I think that we need to work out, folks, that this is very clear. We are trying to leave peacefully, and we are unable to leave the square because the police are bottling us in. Say it again, where are we supposed to go? Which way?
Please turn around and walk that way. Let's walk back the street.
Okay, so at this point
Move back. Move back. Move back. Thank you. Move back. Thank you. Move back. Thank you very much.
This feels very democratic.
She's got a chair there.
There's been no violent chants, no racism, no anti-Semitism, and you guys still fucking escalate. You are the ones that escalate shit. It's fucking disgusting.
Okay, so I just got back from the West Bank, and so I was staying with a family that has been attacked relentlessly every day since I was born by the ODM, left, right, centre.
If you go to any event, there's an access and egress plan, and we gave an egress plan of south on George Street. Please get back. Police get back. Police get back. Police get back. Move back! Turn and walk south towards Shutdown Street.
We can't move back. We can't move back. Stop fucking pushing us, you fucking fellas. We can't move back anymore. It's unfair to yourselves. No, he's not a film. How the fuck are you supposed to get over? Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine!
Free's been arrested! She's been arrested!
A fucking awesome demonstration tonight! Here and all around the country, as I said, we have turned what they wanted to be a propaganda tour for Herzog and Israel into a PR disaster because of us, because tens of thousands of us came out and said if you were at the red carpet for genocide, that we're going to take back our streets and demand freedom and humanity. We're going to stand up for that. People are getting arrested and pepper sprayed in front of us. We should say, obviously this is a bloody outrage. It's a bloody outrage that these cops have been mobilised to stop us demonstrating. As I said, in my opinion, I think we should not continue to try to push here. I think we should say this has been a huge success and that now we should run. That is my opinion. You can do what you want. But I think it would be best. I think it would be best if we ended on a high and not on a low. Where can we go?
Where you fucking
We're gonna have to open the police line.
Go!
No. I think I got a bit of pepper spray in my throat.
Oh my god!
There you go. Crazy. Fucking crazy. Excuse me, this lady here.
Pepper sprayed.
Guys, get that way. Get up, get away from that area.
Horses are charging again. There was no one trying to march for about half an hour. And they just decided with the police to march.
Back there. You're trying to get in, but just stay up. Just walk up to your camera and see if we can get in. You
Where to go? Where am I going? Go that way. Yes. Go that way, sir. Sir, gotta go. Gotta go. Let's go, guys. Don't move that way. Don't move that way. I can't stay here. Keep going, please. Press has to leave as well. Yeah, that's right. You've got to keep going, sir. Got to keep going. We can't report anymore what's going on. Keep going. You're going to move the horses, and I can't watch. Just keep going. Film that, right? Keep going that way. Yeah, they're not letting us record. Keep going. What they're going to do with the horses. They're moving the horses. I was already. No, keep going. They're moving the press out here, you see? They don't want us to film what's happening if they move the horses in.